All right, guys, welcome to episode 1 of Sam and Karsen's financial podcast, where we give the best finance advice in the world. Disclaimer, none of this advice should be taken seriously, and we should not be able for any blame for financial downfall after listening to this podcast. Karsen, you have any words you want to say before we begin?
I just want to say well spoken, Sam. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Karsen. My bagel was a little burnt this morning, so I had to fire the man who made it for me. But other than that, pretty good day.
Yeah. So I noticed on the way here that you pulled out $100 out of your bank, and now you have $200 in your account. Is that correct, Sam? Are you really managing your money that well?
Yes. First off, the correction being I have $500 in my savings still.
Oh, $500.
And nice. I'm doing it to help further my cause, which I'm talking about today, as a matter of fact, which is investing in your success. Karsen, when you're making financial investments, you can go to the stock market, yes, but that's not always reliable. You can lose your money. When instead, you can invest in your future. I mean, you invest $20 in the stock market, right? It may or may not make money. You could actually lose money. But instead, spend that money on a degree in a field that you know is going to give you employment in the future, and you'll be making money well into your later years of life. I mean, this is a way to make sure you have a fallback in case any plans you do have end up falling through. Like, I'm pretty good at coding websites on the side. Everybody knows. And you saw my amazing art that I made earlier. But if either of those were to fall through, I have technical degrees that I can fall back on just in case. Things that I invest in.
Very nice.
So that's my little spiel out of the way. What about you, Karsen? What do you have going on for you?
Well, money, Sam. Money in motion. Banks, checkings, credit cards, everything these days costs money, right? Pretty much on the way here, I listened to Spotify, I watched some Netflix, right? All these different applications, right? They all require subscriptions. That right there in 1 month, I probably spend $20 at least on those 2 subscriptions alone, probably more. There's so much today that requires you to spend money that it's just dumbfounding, right? Something else I want to talk about is checkings accounts. Your checkings account is not safe enough as it is, Sam. There are so many ways for your stuff to get stolen. Lost or stolen checks it's a serious problem, okay? They can be replaced. They can be. You can request a stop payment order to prevent your checks from being cashed in cases of suspected theft, or if you realize the check was written in error. Debit card backups.
Karsen, could you like stop deviating from the script and just read what I have prepared for you? Okay. Could you just like? Could you stop that?
I'm sorry, Sam. Let's just get back to
okay.
The important facts. What are we talking about again?
Money in motion, Karsen. Where did the money come from?
Oh yeah, God, sorry. So where do you work, Sam?
I can't believe the studio funded this. I do. I've been working on new certifications, which is why I pulled the money on my account. I mean, I need to make sure I have those things I can fall back on in case my amazing art career just falls apart. Right?
I feel you.
Like right now, I'm getting my Security Plus.
Very nice.
I'm getting my A Plus all at the same time because, I just have all the time in the world now that I'm unemployed at the moment. Or at least that's what the government thinks. That's another thing, guys. Make sure to keep your money offshore. Government can't track it. So, Karsen, speaking of money being offshore, how does that money get from one place to another? Can you go further detail on that, on where the money transfers?
So let's say you have a bank account in France, okay? Now, I think we've all seen The Wolf of Wall Street, right? It's really important, okay, to be careful with your money. Now, let's say you have a bank account in France, but you also have a bank account in America, and say, I have $4 million in this bank account in the U.S., but I want to transfer it into France because of their different tax laws and everything such. So what you got to do is you got to be careful. You got to somehow get that money from here to there. Okay. So one of the best methods is not taping it to your body, but actually telling the TSA that you're bringing money into the country, right? Because if you tell them that you're bringing money into the country, it's not illegal.
Carson, stick to the script.
I don't even know what we're talking about at this
point, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Stick to the script. You have paper in front of you. I've written down what you gotta say. Just say it, okay?
Okay. Page 11. Not so free checking. I want to tell you, Sam. Free checking accounts are usually the best deal in banking, but free doesn't mean totally without cost, okay? It just means no monthly fee. In some cases, you're required to keep a minimum balance to qualify. Fee types and amounts will vary, so you have to scan the chart for a list of most common fees. Now, you guys won't be able to scan the chart because it's right here in front of me, but there's different types of fees.
I'll make
right?
sure there's a PDF link up on the website.
Yeah. So there's monthly service fees, out-of-network ATM fees, check fees, debit fees, not sufficient funds, overdraft fees, OD transfer fees. Don't know what that means. Oh, wait, here it is. Having a bank transfer money from a linked account to prevent an overdraft transaction. That's pretty cool. Deposited item return fees, depositing a check when there isn't enough money in the payers account to cover the check amount, and stop payment fees. That's pretty good.
So Carson, if I'm correct, you said there are ways you can potentially lose money.
Yeah.
When transferring banks through different fees and such. Mm-hmm. Can't I just avoid all these fees by just doing everything online? Because last time I checked, the internet is the most safe place in the world where nobody screws you over and everybody's looking after each other. So could you give me an example why I can't just use the internet?
Yeah, so it's a really common mistake that people make, that everything over the internet just works perfectly, right? Now, most people think like, okay, I can transfer this $10,000 out of my banking app onto my card, and then I can go to an ATM. I can pull that money out, but that actually works pretty well, I gotta say. But okay. So if you go to like your email and somebody says, I'll do this for you, I'll provide a certain fee, or no, I'll provide a certain service for a fee, or that man in a random country saying he'll offer you gold for money, then in that case it's not as safe.
So you're telling me that a company might put hidden fees in a service? Yes. That sounds preposterous. I'm having a hard time believing that, Karsen.
It's more common than you think, Sam.
Do you think I am being subject to hidden fees right now?
I think you are, Sam. It depends on what service you're purchasing, but I think all of us are subject to hidden fees.
Man, I'm going to have to reread my contracts.
Exactly.
Make sure that my finances are in order, Karsen. I'm really glad you gave me this information. Like, that was a total deviation Sam, from the script, but
anytime
pretty good information.
Anytime you try to buy something or subscribe to a service or go to a different bank, just be sure to read the fine print, every single page of it, okay? It's really important.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in and listening to
now,
the
just remember,
first
Sam,
and last ever financial podcast with Sam and Karsen. Did you say something you wanted to close off before?
Yes, I do actually have something. Just remember, everybody, try to use a debit card instead of a credit card, okay?
Okay, so now you want to start reading from the script? All right, we're done here. This is over with.